When I had my secretary's diploma, I went home for a while and got a job at Ollie's clinic. Ollie was a physiotherapist to the children in the whole of the Bournemouth region, and she ran a clinic several times a week. Different doctors came in to examine their patients. I was there to type their letters. All these patients had all kinds of problems. There were tiny babies with club feet, children who had paralyzed limbs, limbs, limbs from polio, adolescents dying from muscular dystrophy. Some of the children couldn't walk and would have to spend the rest of their lives in wheelchairs. Some could move about, but only by wearing clumsy leg irons or crutches. There were spastic children who would never be able to look after themselves. There was a little boy who was an ethtoid. This is caused by damage to the brain stem during birth. The poor victims cannot properly control their muscles. Their arms and legs jerk violently, violently, so do their faces when they try to speak. Usually it is very difficult to understand what they are trying to say. Ollie told me a wonderful story. In the old days, people thought that at times were crazy. Often they were put in mental situations. Well, there was a little ethoid, ethoid girl whose parents were rich. They didn't want her shut into one of those places for the insane. So they paid for her to stay in a children's ward of a big hospital. No one spent much time with her. One day, a famous doctor was in a ward. We told a rather adult joke. None of the children laughed. They didn't understand it. But suddenly the doctor saw the eyes of the crazy girl. They were sparkling with fun. He knew that she had understood. He was amazed. He took her home with him and gave her special lessons. She so, she was so eh, she was so intelligent that she not only learned to talk but soon passed all her school exams. Now we know that at the toys are almost always unusually bright. I learned so much at that clinic ever since then. When things have gone wrong in my life, I remember how lucky I am to be healthy. I thank God for that, and I feel more determined to solve my problems or get over my sadness or whatever. And I feel a special closeness with people who are crippled or disabled in any way. After working at the clinic for 6 months, I got a job in Oxford. I had thought of going to the famous university there, but mom could not afford to send me unless I won a major scholarship. For a major scholarship, I needed the language, and as you know, I didn't have one. Well, I thought a job. There is the next best thing. The job itself was very boring. I worked in a file filling department of the administ- administrative building of the university, but I lived in a bed sit in a house with some Oxford graduate students, and so I got to know many other students. I had lots of fun. It was almost like being a student myself without the work. What I liked best, though, was the river. I used to take out a canoe and paddle silently along early in the morning or late in the evening. I saw I saw water birds, moorhens, kingfishers, and swans. The swans were a bit scary, especially when they had a nest or babies, because then they are sometimes aggressive. I knew one man who once had his leg broken when a when an angry swan, thinking thinking he was after one of her babies, attacked him. I also learned to punt, which is much harder than canoeing. You push along a flat-bottomed boat with a long pole, hoisting it hand over hand out of the water, then pushing it down hard and driving the boat forward. There are two problems. One is trying to keep the punt straight. The other is pushing the pole too hard into a patch of mud at the bottom of the river. Often you see a beginner either leaving his pole behind or clinging on so desperately that he is pulled from the punt and splashes into the water. I very often got a duckling when I was learning.